Hi, I'm Joël Karlin and I work as a filmmaker and multimedia producer, but I also like illustrating. But I want to take it serious now. And for this, I want to try to find my own style. A style that I really love. And also I want to find a method from the sketch to the final rendered image that works for any subject. But how should I do this? Let's find out. And I think my method that I would come up with would also help you to find your own style. Well, first I thought that when I draw like every day and really a lot, I would improve my own style and get to the place where I wanted to be. But then I realized that's not the way it works for me. And second, I thought, yeah, maybe I should do a social media detox for over weeks and then clear my mind and start all over again. But if we would do it like this, we would still be painting caves like thousands of years ago. And so I'm really clear that we need reference and inspiration. And then I came up with this really simple idea and I wanted to try this. First, I collected and analyzed artworks of great illustrators like Brian Miller, Charlie Davis, Jordan Rimmer, Louis Mendon, just to name a few. Then I wrote down everything that I like about those artworks. What colors do they use? What brushes could they have used? How they apply textures? Are the sketching lines visible in the final artwork? What about composition? How do they deal with depth? And so on. On this list, I marked the most important parameters that I liked for myself and listed them separately. I categorized them in terms of technique, used brushes, and overall style. With this in mind, I'm now going to apply these learnings from those artists and do my own paintings. And I wanted to do different subjects so that I could see if it would work for like different genres and different images. And so I will do a portrait, a landscape, some environmental or architecture design, an animal, and at last I wanted to do a little fantasy world. And after this, I'm going to reanalyze my own work in terms of, is it the style that I wanted to achieve? Are the brushes those that I like using? And also, do I have missed anything else that I could improve? And so let's start with the first artwork, the portrait. And as a little disclaimer beforehand, I wanted to say that although I'm doing all my artworks now in this video digitally, this method should also work with a traditional art style. Now with this first one, with the portrait, I found out that in my analysis I decided to have like 4 phases, which is first the sketching with lines or shapes, and second would be fill in the main values. Third is painting light and shadow, and the fourth step would then be add additional texture and render the final image. Now second comes the landscape. I shot this reference at the end of last year in Iceland. It's a really cool location that we've found there, and so I thought this picture would be a good reference to go for this artwork. Next up, environmental with some architecture in it. I think I have chosen just a really complicated one. To me, this was a little bit too much. There was so much detail, and now in this one I'm really struggling with perspective. Next up, animal. I prepared a fox. I once photographed this one, and now I paint it. Yeah, this fox. I photographed this one myself. I think I struggled a lot with the pose of the fox. And then I really thought like I could do it with this brush that I was using, and yeah, it was not really good working. And so until the end, I was then going for the screen shit, and yeah. I need a break. After the break, I thought I could not have this one be in the state how it is, so I was going all over again. And this one, I decided to use another brush, and this was a happy accident, I think. Now for the last artwork, I'd like to level up. Recently, I heard a talk of Christian Scheurer, who is a concept artist that worked on like many big Hollywood blockbuster movies like Aquaman, Guardian of the Galaxy, and John Wick, just to name a few of them. And he's using 3D to do his artwork. And for his last artwork, I would also like to use 3D software. I also think I need a little sketch beforehand, and here I also have put together some images that I like. So yeah, first step, sketching. For the sketching, I just choose like a little bit of the contrast of big buildings in a landscape with a really small person in it. I think it's the classic for concept art. Now starts the 3D creation. Yeah, my fantasy world was, in my opinion, after I've done it, a little bit too much low-key. So instead of having less light, I closely choose to have no light at all. And so the scenery is really dark, but the overall idea and the technique worked, I think. Well, now after all this work, I want to finalize what I think I've learned with this project. In terms of brushes that I have used, I really would have liked to have a real brush with a lot of texture in it. And as at the time I was recording this video, I couldn't find any really good brush for that, either in Photoshop or in Procreate, but maybe in Adobe Fresco would have a good brush for that. I will do some research on this one. And in terms of style, I think like the painted look that I did maybe for the fox is something that I really like. It could be a bit more like cross-hatching and not just in one direction like I did in my image, but this is a style that I really liked. Now, I hope you found something valuable out of this video and something that helps you to find your own style, or maybe you just have fun watching me struggling to find my own. Either way, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye. Keep care.